did actually win the World Junior title in 2007, and he won the Czech Open. Well, he was runner-up in the Czech Open in 2012, so he's a good player. And then in the previous round, in the men's singles here at the World Championships, he beat Fergal of Austria, who was seeded 18, 4-2. So who knows? I think it'd be a good close game.
There is Mr. Liu Gudong, as we said earlier, brother of Liu Guliang, former Olympic and world champion Liu Guliang, head of the Chinese team here. Interesting to look at Wong Chun Ting there on the left of the screen, penhold grip player, last 16 in Rio, winner of the Czech Open in 2015, third place in the World Cup last year. Very consistent in 2016, Wong Chun Ting, hence his ranking of 7. Quarter-final in Korea, Japan and Slovenia. And then he made the semi-final of the Chinese Open in 2016. So, Mr. Consistency, always thereabouts, number 7 in the world. There we have Chai, the coach from Korea. And it is the first point to Wong Chun Ting. The first thing, obviously, that's interesting, Jill, is the fact that Wong Chun Ting is a penhold grip player, very much influenced by his good friend Xu Xin, who is the other penhold grip player in the top 10 in the world. 2 penhold grip players in the top 10, but it's interesting that both of them actually use the reverse side of the racket. The traditional penhold grip, going back many years, you only use one side of the racket. But now the new generation of penhold grip players actually are using both sides, and we'll see that technique from Wong Chun Ting.
Yes, I mean, years ago when you had a pen holder, they just used one side of the racket, and it was the movement was like a pendulum. So you play your forehand and the backhand, but you know they're using their wrist so much now they're able to turn it round and use the other side of the bat as well.
So a great start by Wong. The first 6 points complete. The players towel down as they're entitled to do. The worrying thing for JEONG is that all 6 points went to Hong Kong. The Republic of Korea have had some great penhold grip players when you think back. Yoon Nam-kyu, the first ever Olympic champion. Table tennis made its debut in the Olympics 1988. Yoon Nam-kyu won the men's singles. Penhold grip player, just used one side of the racket. 2004 Athens, Roo Sung-min won the men's singles title at the Olympics. Again, penhold grip player, just used one side. Interestingly enough, here, not one penhold grip player in the Korean team. Quite clearly, to survive now with the penhold grip, it would appear that you need to be able to use both sides of the racket. Xu Xin, a fine exponent of that. And then, of course, we have players like Ma Lin, Wang Hao. Wang Hao's here on the coaching staff with the Chinese team, who employed this particular technique. So 7-2, Wong looking good for the first game. A little bit more work to do. He's the one who's got in with the first strong topspin. And I think Wong Chun Ting may have been foul served there. I'm not sure what happened. But he's clawing his way back into this first game. Second serve coming up in this sequence of 2. Good short play by JEONG. JEONG's career has been an interesting one. You mentioned Jill, World Junior Champion in 2007. Clearly a very exciting prospect. Then things just seem to go a little bit on the back burner. Always on the circuit, but always getting to the last 64, never really making a big name for himself. Then all of a sudden, Asian Championships, beats Ma Long, beats Ko Kiniwa, gets to the final. And he seems to have suddenly hit a rich vein of form, and here he is, last 16 of the World Championships. And indeed, he looked down and out in this first game, but he's now got right back into this first game. But the heavy backspin on the Wong service pays dividends. Good use of the wrist. They always felt the penholder had a slight advantage with that very loose grip. They could get more wrist action. Of course, what the shake-hand grip players do now is they loosen the grip. They even have a special service grip that allows them to get the extra wrist movement.
Yeah, and they also change their grip sometimes on receive of serve as well, especially when they're going to push it short. Finger comes up the bat a bit more.
So Wong now with 4 game points. Didn't quite get his racket sufficiently over the ball there, Wong Chun Ting. And there's that reverse backhand topspin we've been talking about to take the first game by 11 points to 7. Hong Kong lead by 1 game to 0. We'll be back for the second game. Second game. JEONG of the Republic of Korea just throwing the ball up. There's a little bit of concern about the air conditioning when he gets warm down there. The air conditioning kicks in, kind of affect the flight of the ball. But straight away there, JEONG just showing a little bit of positive play. We didn't quite see that in the first game. So maybe the coach has had a word. You just need to up the ante a little bit. Let's be a little bit more positive.
Yes, I thought he looked a little bit flat in the first game, but I think he's had a chat with his coach. And as you say, he's got to be positive. He's got to try and get in with his strong attacking strokes. It was a good flick receive into the middle. He's got to be looking whenever possible if it's a bit long to get in.
2 or 3 reverse backhand topspins there from Wong Chun Ting, 25 years of age, the player from Hong Kong. But it's the 27-year-old from Korea who's on fire at the start of the second game. We had a similar start in the first game, albeit the other way around. Wong Chun Ting won the first 6 points. They towelled down and it was 6-love to Wong. Second game, it's 6-love to JEONG.
Picked up that well there. They're playing short and then went slightly long.
But let's have a look at this reverse technique. Here it comes. You see him using the backhand side of the racket. Of course, in days gone by, it was just wood on the backhand side of the racket. And the penhole grip player just had the rubber and sponge on the playing side. A mistake with the reverse backhand topspin. JEONG Sangeun leads 8-2. It looks like JEONG may be targeting that backhand, Jill. He seems to be pinning him into the backhand side.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That seems to be the area he's playing, either into the middle or backhand. Obviously, don't want him to get in with his forehand. But you say that, and then he makes a winner with it down the line.
But that's the first time he's tried to go down the line, which was a good tactic. It's exactly what Wong Chun Ting needs to do. And of course, when he goes down the line, the likelihood is JEONG will come back to the middle or to the forehand. It'll allow Wong to follow in with a forehand topspin. It's exactly what happened in the first game the other way around. It's like deja vu. 6-love to WONG Chun Ting, and then Jeong clawed his way back. That's exactly what's happening in this game. Slowly but surely, Wong's getting back into it.
Oh, and he stepped round with his, to use his backhand from the forehand side.
Jeong looks reasonably unfazed by it all. But he's in a little bit of trouble now. He's lost quite a few points. The momentum quite clearly with Hong Kong at the moment. Second serve in the sequence coming up. And well done, WONG Chun Ting. 6-love down, back to 8 points apiece. And you do sense if WONG Chun Ting can win this second game, put him in a very strong position psychologically. JEONG will be disappointed to lose from 6-love up, but he's taken that point with a very aggressive topspin. 9-8. See that topspin again. Close to the table, whips it off the bounce with the backhand.
And that was, again, very quick off the bounce with the backhand. Get that 9-all.
Pictures taken at the World Championships will be used for many years.
Long serve now. He'll be looking now to try and get in on the third ball. Oh, but a lot of backspin on that serve.
Interesting character, JEONG Sangeun. Doesn't show much emotion. We're used to seeing the Japanese players screaming and shouting. Stays very calm. A little bit of emotion there. Saved a game point. 10 points apiece. It's now alternate serving. First player to win 2 clear points. And it's Jeong with the first serve. It's a brave shot, isn't it? You don't see that very often with the reverse backhand for the penholder coming across to the forehand side. I'm trying to think now if I've seen Xu Xin come so far across to return with the backhand.
It was a good flick receive there by Wong, but follow it up with a just nip the net.
11 points each.
There's that backhand again, just stepping across.
So it is now literally third time lucky for Wong. The question is, will it be third time lucky? It's his third game point. He led 10-9, 11-10. He now leads 12-11. He's coming across to the backhand side to serve. And he's done it. WONG Chun Ting takes the second game. 13 points to 11 and now leads by 2 games to 0. We'll be back for the third. Third game, players back to the table. The Hong Kong coach, Liu Gudong, will be delighted to see his player come back from 6-love down in that second game to take it 13-11. Let service spotted by the umpire. WONG Chun Ting to retake that serve.
I took that forehand early. Very quick off the bounce. Serve, backhand. Very quick, whippy action with the wrist.
Didn't quite read the spin there. Pushed that a fraction too hard. Ball off the end of the table. And a good start by WONG Chun Ting. JEONG, of course, has to forget about that second game. He was 6-love up. Anybody would fancy the chances with a 6-point lead when you're playing to 11, but he couldn't convert it to a victory. Of course, when you're playing a player ranked almost 50 places above you, you have to take those chances normally. He can still get back in this, but it's going to be a battle.
Oh, that good spinny backhand there. Just contains it there, then spin. You could see that use of his wrist on that, and a lot of spin on the ball.
It really is amazing how the hall 20 minutes ago was electric. Timo Boll, the home country's #1 player in action, winning, the crowd ecstatic, and then all of a sudden just that little bit quieter now, the atmosphere not quite as electric as it was. Table 1, we have Samsonov playing Lee Gun-san, and Lee Gun-san 2-0 up in games and 7-2. It's looking like a win for the Republic of Korea. Looks the opposite here. 6-1 in favour of WONG Chun Ting, who leads by 2-0. So JEONG is looking down the barrel of a 3-0 deficit. But he's played well there. Some good counter top spins. That was the reason he raised his hand. Slightly fortunate with the flick there. Hit the top of the net, and fortunately for him, it bounced on the table on the Hong Kong player's side.
It's unusual though for a player to put his hand up in the middle of a point. You normally wait until the point's finished.
7-2. Oh, it's great play by JEONG. He's producing 3 or 4 point runs of amazing table tennis, and then just makes a few errors. Can he just keep that momentum going? He can still get back into this last 16 contest. Certainly he needs this point with his second serve in this sequence, and he's got it with a good backspin serve. Wong was trying to push it short over the net. A further 6 points has progressed.
I think someone's called a timeout.
And it is Liu Gudong, the coach of Hong Kong, who's up on his feet to call timeout. Quite right to do so. The momentum clearly has changed. WONG Chun Ting dominating the first part of this third game. But the last 3 or 4 points, that momentum changed in favour of JEONG Sangeun. Shrewd call. And certainly his brother Liu Guliang, the master of the timeout for me. A number of times I've seen him call a timeout in a difficult situation and turn the tables on the opponent. Can his brother do the same thing? I certainly agree with the timeout. Remember, each player has 1 timeout during the whole match. So tactically it's very important to use that timeout to get maximum advantage. And it's used frequently when the momentum has shifted to the opponent, and you need to break that momentum. So, the Hong Kong coach, Liu Gudong, will be hoping for a couple of points on the run now for the Hong Kong player. He has his 2 serves to come, so no doubt they spent a bit of time talking about the serve and where to serve. But the backhand flick off the end of the table. Push off the end of the table. WONG Chun Ting just raises his finger. He did have a net cord in that rally. that worked in his favour, but JEONG Sangeun now with his 2 serves could do with both points, and that backhand topspin hits the top of the net. He turns around to the bench in frustration. Here we have a look at that again. No reason why he should have missed that one. Just a well-guided shot from Wong. So now it's the turn of the Hong Kong player for his 2 serves.
We haven't had many long rallies in this match. It's all been very short.
Again, Wong just throwing the ball up, not a lot of pace on the ball. JEONG took that very early. May be a little bit better if he'd taken his time. There, he took it very early. Hadn't got much speed or spin on it. But he now gives himself a little bit of a lifeline. He was facing 3 game points. He's saved 1. And he has the advantage of his 2 serves to come now. A further 6 points has progressed. So both players just taking their time to towel down, compose themselves. 8-10. JEONG with his 2 serves. And there it is. WONG Chun Ting takes the 3rd game. 11 points to 8. And he now leads by 3 games to 0. We'll be back for the 4th game. The 4th game, WONG Chun Ting of Hong Kong leads by 3 games to 0. He's 1 game away from a place in the quarter-final here in the men's singles in Dusseldorf. That's a great start by JEONG Sangeun. The danger now for Wong is that JEONG decides he's nothing to lose. He relaxes, he swings on both wings. He's clearly very, very talented. Good variation there.
Wong knows he's got to step in and take the ball whenever possible. Changing the pace, the spin, placement. It's all important.
That's a good start by JEONG. 3-1. With his 2 serves to come.
Just shows margin for error. How the ball keeps touching the net with quite a few times in these first 3 games. How it's touched the net and just jumped over.
That is great play by Wong. First backhand down the diagonal. Look how he uses that reverse technique and then straight down the line. That's right in the corner. 3 points apiece.
It's always a danger when you run round with your forehand to the backhand side. You leave the table open, and that's what happened in that point.
Good flick from JEONG. And the forehand topspin from Wong there. Just hits the top of the net off the end of the table. JEONG on a little bit of run here, 2-3 points. And second serve in this sequence coming up. Looking for the short push to the forehand. coming across to the forehand to play the serve. And JEONG now with a very useful 5-point lead.
He wasn't sure whether it was going to be a short or long. It was half-long serve. He did attempt to try and play his forehand. Unfortunately made an error. It's 2 serves again.
Good return of serve here, the reverse backhand again. Stepping across slightly to the forehand side to use the backhand.
That was a good angle there. Got Wong out of position. Good serve. There, beauty.
Stayed close to the table. Wong took those balls early. Must-win point, I feel, for WONG Chun Ting if he's to get back into this. And it is JEONG now with 4 game points. And JEONG Sangeun takes the 4th game, 11 points to 6, and it's now 3 games to 1 in favour of Hong Kong. We'll be back shortly for the 5th game. So here we go. Story there. The gentleman on screen leads by 3 games to 1. He has the service at the start of the 5th game, but his opponent, JEONG Sangeun, certainly hit a rich vein of form in that 4th game. And I think we need to see a little bit more positive play from WONG Chun Ting. A little bit more movement, get his feet going, get some powerful shots in. It's exactly how he started with that point. And that's just the start he wanted, 2 points with the serve.
It's strange how this match has gone, where each player has led by a long margin.
The one that JEONG Sangeun may regret is he led 6-love in the 2nd game. And he went on to lose that game 13-11, and so timeout called by the Korean coach. Of course, this is a must-win game for JEONG. He has to win the remaining 3 games to go through to the quarter-final, and he's lost the first 3 points here, momentum clearly with WONG Chun Ting. So why not? Let's have a break, let's have a chat, let's break that momentum. And the match on table number 1 is finished. Lee Sang-soo beating Vladimir Santonov 4 games to 0. So the Republic of Korea, 1 player at least through to the quarterfinals. The 2nd player has this gentleman in the way, and he's looking in good shape, leading 3-1 and 3-0 in points in this 5th game, and a service error following a timeout. Not the best time. He looks a little bit miserable.
Wouldn't you be if you were 4-0 down?
clearly very talented. He can move quickly. It's very difficult to read the psychology of these two players, particularly the player from the Republic of Korea. World junior champion back in 2007. The best in the world, under 17, under 18. And then a little bit of a lean time as a senior player, but rich vein of form recently. Made the final of the Asian Championships, beating Ma Long on the way to the final. He lost to Fan Shendong in the final. Beat Koki Niwa in the semi, as you mentioned earlier, Jill.
Yeah, I'm watching him play here. There's a few errors when he's not playing up to his usual standard. Or it could be WONG Chun Ting is playing him tactically well, and so he's not able to play his game.
7-1. WONG Chun Ting in fine form. Just needs to keep it going for another couple of minutes to keep this momentum going. Can't afford to ease off. Not against a player of the ability of JEONG Sangeun. Rapid exchange, and it's JEONG Sangeun who comes out on top. Of course, now he's probably thinking nothing to lose. I'm going to swing my arm, backhand and forehand, and that's dangerous for Wong. He just needs to make sure he gets the initiative. And that, if this is what happens, he loses the point. As soon as JEONG Sangeun gets in with a strong topspin, he can dominate the rally. So important for Wong now to regroup, to get in behind his serve. He's got his two serves to come. Needs to serve, strong topspin behind the serve. Put the player from Korea under pressure from the word go. So 8-4, 3 points away from a place in the quarter-final, Wong.
Oh, it's a good slow spinny one, but Wong played topspin to topspin. See there, very fast and quick he came into that ball.
Oh, that's a good backhand.
That was good serve. Third ball, and then that fifth ball played down the line.
The reverse backhand topspin. Certainly him and Zhu Jin working closely together. Very similar technique to his good friend from China. Oh, it would have been a winner. It was the right idea, the forehand topspin down the line. So again, a lifeline for JEONG. He knew that was a good chance. He'd have backed himself to make that. Second serve. 4 match points for WONG Chun Ting, and a place in the quarterfinal. Lee Sang-soo of Korea's there awaiting for the winner of this match. So he's beaten one Korean, hopefully if he can get a point. And then there's another Korean player awaiting him, but he's still got to win one of the next 3 points.
He's got to serve now and try and follow in. Oh, changed his mind.
He's done that a few times, comes across, serves from the forehand. And there, he's done it. He's taken the 5th game. 11 points to 7. And it's the number 7 player in the world, WONG Chun Ting, who now takes his place in the quarterfinals. And as I say, it is Lee Sang-soo who is waiting him. And there he is, the winner of this last 16 match from Hong Kong, WONG Chun Ting. He's through to the quarterfinals, and we look forward to seeing him in action later. Well done, Hong Kong. Well done, WONG Chun Ting.